home, Sarah locked herself in the bathroom and read the directions from the box of hair color. They seemed simple enough. She put on the plastic gloves that came with the hair dye kit, draped a towel around her shoulders, and worked the peroxide into her hair. She wasn't sure how long to leave the peroxide on, so she sat at the edge of the bathtub and played a few games on her phone and watched some YouTube makeup tutorials. First, her scalp started to itch. Then it started to burn. It burned as if someone had thrown a handful of lit matches into her hair. She quickly typed into her phone, how long to leave peroxide in hair. The answer that appeared was no longer than 30 minutes. How long had she left it in? She jumped to her feet, grabbed the detachable shower head, turned the water on cold, leaned her head over the tub, and started spraying. The frigid water soothed her fiery scalp. When she looked in the mirror, her hair was stark white, like she had become an old woman way before her time. The bathroom stank of bleach, which made her nose run and her eyes water. She cracked the window and opened the bottle of hair color. It was time to complete her transformation. She shook up the ingredients in a squeeze bottle and squirted the mixture all over her hair and massaged it in. She set the alarm on her phone to go off in 25 minutes, then settled in to wait. By the time her mom got home, she was going to look like a whole new person. She played happily on her phone until the alarm buzzed, then rinsed off again with the detachable shower head. She didn't bother with the conditioner that came with the hair color kit, because she was too anxious to see the results. She toweled off her hair and stepped over to the mirror to see the new her. She screamed. She screamed so loud that the neighbor's dog started barking. Her hair was not platinum blonde, but sewage green. She thought of Abby when they were little, coloring her Barbie's hair with a green magic marker. Now she was that Barbie. How? How could she do something to make herself pretty and end up even uglier than before? Why was life so unfair? She ran to her room, flung herself onto her bed, and cried. She must have cried herself into a miserable sleep, because the next thing she knew, her mom was sitting on the edge of her bed saying, "What happened here?" Sarah looked up. She could see the shock in her mom's eyes. I was trying to color my hair," Sarah sobbed. "I want it to be blonde, but I'm... "You're green. I can see that," Mom said. "Well, I would say there would be consequences for you coloring your hair without my permission, but I think you're already experiencing some of those. You are going to clean up the bathroom, though. But for right now, we need to see what we can do to make you look less like a Martian." She touched Sarah's hair. "Oof, it feels like straw. Listen. Put on your shoes. The hair salon at the mall should still be open. Maybe they can fix this." Sarah put on her shoes and stuffed her moss-colored tresses under a baseball cap. When they got to the salon, and Sarah yanked off the cap, the stylist gasped. "Well, it's a good thing you called 911. This is definitely a hair emergency." An hour and a half later, Sarah was back to having brown hair, now a few inches shorter because the stylist had to cut off the damaged ends. "Well," Mom said, once they were in the car on their way home, "that was a huge chunk of my paycheck. I probably should have just let you go to school with green hair. It would have served you right." Sarah returned to school, not in a blaze of platinum blonde glory, but as her usual mousy brown self. Still, when lunchtime rolled around, she resolved that even without blonde hair, she wasn't going to sit at the loser table. She served herself from the salad bar, and then walked right past where Abby was sitting. She didn't need Abby to criticize her today. A knot formed in her stomach as she approached the Beautiful's table. They must have decided that today was jeans day, because they were all wearing cute skinny jeans, with fitted jewel-colored tops, and matching slip-on canvas shoes. Sarah sat down at the opposite end of the table, far enough away that she didn't seem to be intruding, but close enough that they could include her if they wanted. She waited around a few minutes, expecting one of them to tell her to go away, but nobody did. She was relieved and hopeful, but then she realized that none of them even seemed to see her. They just kept right on with their conversation like she was invisible. She did not say that. Oh yes, she did. No! Yes. And then what did he say? She pushed her salad around on her plate and tried to follow the conversation, but she had no idea who they were talking about, and she certainly wasn't going to ask them. Probably they wouldn't even hear her if she said something. If they couldn't see her, they probably couldn't hear her either. She felt like a ghost.